So, Ragiroth do. Oh, I didn't see you come in. Sorry about that. Welcome to Ragiroth Enterprises. My name is Rich. Wow, it's been a long time since I've done a video in this style where I have some goofy intro. And another thing I haven't done in a while is a top 10 list. So, Soul Calibur VI has finally been announced. Finally. Yeah, we kind of knew it was coming because of some rumors and all that, but yeah, they can be wrong. It's nice to see a full confirmation. And so far, it looks pretty damn awesome. For those who have seen Mark Unart's video on Soul Calibur VI, he's talked about, what he would have liked to see in the game. And yes, Mark, I will try to forgive you for doing the video without me. No, but in all seriousness, pretty much everything he said in that video is pretty much what I'd like for the game as well. Something he didn't talk about though, because I know more of his thing is create a character, and I love creating characters too, and I'm so happy that they basically confirmed it will still be in the game. I think they basically did. But I got into Soul Calibur with 2, and there was no created character then. So I still have a special place in my heart for all of the actual cast characters in the game. And I figured, since Mark basically covered everything I would want for the game, why not talk about the characters I'd like to be in the game? And well, what better way to do that with a top 10 list, huh? The game is said to be like kind of a reboot, so it's going to mostly take place in Soul Calibur 1 time, which I think is both cool but also kind of sucky, because there's some characters I really like that came around past Soul Calibur 1. I'm hoping it's kind of like an Mortal Kombat 9 situation where it kind of is a reboot, but it kind of covers the first 3 games at least. And I think there has actually been something recently that said it will at least have some characters from 2 and 3. So, unfortunately I might be missing some characters from 4 and 5, but... And now, probably some of the characters higher on the list will probably be characters that weren't in 5, or just maybe haven't been around as longer, as part of the reason I want them is because I haven't had them as recently. But anyway, let me get on my trusty list. Alright, so I got a few honorable mentions, but overall just a typical top 10 list. Number 10, Ivy. Now, one of the reasons she's so low is because she's become one of the few faces of Soul Calibur, and she was in Soul Calibur 1. That was the game she debuted in. And obviously Ivy's awesome. She's maybe the coolest Soul Calibur female, and no, it's not just because of the I just think she has a pretty cool design otherwise, and I love her fighting style. Like the snake sword is a really cool weapon that isn't in a lot of games, and I've always been pretty good with her in most of the games. So obviously, I know she's gonna come back, but I hope she does. Just in the off chance she's not a shoo-in. That's all I can really say there. And I hope, in terms of design-wise, kind of she was closest to Soul Calibur V, because that was a very Ivy-esque design, but I think it did kind of make her design a little more modest. Anyway, okay, so number 9, Li Long. Li Long has not been in Soul Calibur for a while. Technically, he was in Soul Calibur 3. He was a bonus character for the style originally made for the created characters. There's like a double nunchucks or something. However, so a lot of people may not know this, but there was actually an arcade version of Soul Calibur 3 released after the console version, and actually made him more of a full-fledged character again. Now, honestly, I don't think I really care that much for Li Long himself. It's more so his weapons. Like, I probably like Maxi more, but I like dual-wielding nunchucks more, so I guess in this case, like, it's more for his weapons. So if you want to just give double-wielding nunchucks to Maxi, I don't really care that much if Avylon comes back. Sorry, man. So moving on to number 8 is, oh well, this character's chances may have dropped phenomenally, but Zwei from Soul Calibur V. I think out of the newcomers in Soul Calibur V, Zwei was easily my favorite. He was unique. He just looked really cool. I liked his fighting style. I think they actually took some of his fighting style from the Apprentice, or the Star Killer from Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. He was a guest character in Soul Calibur 4, and I love that reverse grip fighting style. He was pretty hard to use. I really like that wolf thing he had too. I like that he was kind of an unofficial werewolf, I guess, in a way. So, I mean, yeah, I know Soul Calibur 5 characters are probably some of the lesser likely ones to come back, but I hope by some miracle he does come back, because he was a pretty unique character. At the very least, maybe he'll be DLC. So then for number 7, another character's chances probably dropped exponentially, Algol, debuted in Soul Calibur 4. I think out of all the bosses in Soul Calibur, Algol is my favorite. Not only is he really friggin' cool, but he's like the first one that isn't like a mimic character, just like a powered up version of another character. So as extra points there. I always really love using his really crazy fun style. The only thing that really sucked is I wish you could give his moveset to creative characters. Like, I understand he was a kind of sort of a boss character, but even still, like, come on. I mean, at least give like a powered down version of it to creative characters or something like that. I don't think his chances are good at all, though. Okay, maybe not at all, because he did kind of, I think he did like create Soul Edge or Soul Calibur or something like that. So, I mean, he has been around since the beginning, but even still, I don't know. Maybe we'll be surprised. For number 6, Cervantes. I think he's pretty likely. Cervantes has been, he's the original bad guy. Yeah, he's basically the original bad guy. He's either the villain in Soul Blade or Soul Edge. I think he's been in every game since then. He has a pretty unique fighting style. I mean, he's always been really cool to me. I've always been pretty good with him. I think his best was maybe Soul Calibur II, maybe. At least that's when I first, I don't know. That's when I first played as him. I don't really know how much to say there. I think he's pretty likely. He can't really age anyway because he's like a ghost or something, and it's a reboot, so I think he's fine. He's fine. 555. Nightmare. When my first experience with Soul Calibur, I was in Disney World, and I went to Disney Quest, and I was in the arcade, and I saw this game called Soul Calibur II. I briefly heard of the game Soul Calibur, so I'm like, why don't I try this out? You know, I went to the character select screen. The character that stood out to me most, Nightmare. Some big, dark knight with this big ass sword with an eye. Sign me up. Played through arcade mode. Really cool, really fun. First experience I've ever had with Soul Calibur. Since then, Nightmare has always been one of my go-to characters. Admittedly, even though I started with him in Soul Calibur 2, I like that since 3 he's kind of evolved on his, his kind of his own character, sort of. His moveset is separated from Siegfried. So I hope, he'd be like that again. In terms of his chances, he's arguably if there's a Ryu and Ken of Soul Calibur, he's arguably one of them, or Sub-Zero and Scorpion. The issue is that in the original Soul Calibur, it was really just Nightmare, and he played like how Siegfried plays in recent games now, and Siegfried was just an alternate outfit. I would hope they're just kind of already separate entities, and they play like, Siegfried plays like Soul Calibur 3 and on Siegfried, and Nightmare plays like Soul Calibur 3 and on Nightmare. That's my only concern. I mean, if it goes back to pre-Soul Calibur 3 Nightmare, it's not the end of the world, but that's just how I would prefer it. But he's gonna be in. Oh, okay. Number 4, Raphael. Starting with Soul Calibur 2, Raphael kind of stood out to me. I've always liked him since 2, but I think as the series went on, I actually began to like him even more. I liked his character and design even more as time went on. I love that he became kind of a vampire, and he has a couple vampiric moves. And I've just always been pretty good with him. Ironically, I know he was considered like broken in Soul Calibur II. I think I actually have gotten better with him as games went on. Like Soul Calibur V, he's one of my best characters. Maybe even 4. Now, in terms of his likelihood, I think it's kind of in the middle for him. He's one of the most, I think he's one of the most standout characters that was added in Soul Calibur 2. He was one of the most important, and I think one of the most popular. So I'd like to say his chances, he's not a shoo-in, but I'd say his chances are probably better than, say, like Zwei or Algol. Much better than theirs. So yeah, I hope to see Raphael back. I think his designs have just gotten better as time goes on. I don't know what design will happen in this one. He might just kind of have his default Soul Calibur 2 outfit, which is okay. You know, not my favorite one. Okay, another thing, but he kind of reminded me of Prince Charming a little bit from Shrek. Okay. Number 4. Oh, okay. Number 3. Aeon, or Lizard Man. I've always used Lizard Man. He was always a character I used. I mean, I know he was kind of just a clone of Sophia and or Cassandra, but you know, nothing against Sophia and Cassandra, but it's like he's a giant friggin' lizard that's a little cooler than just some hot blonde Greek girl, in my opinion, at least in terms of, you know, playing as in fighting games. And then, you know, he has gotten slightly more unique over time. Like, instead of having a sword and a shield, he had an axe and a shield. But then in Soul Calibur 5, all of a sudden, well, they're actually calling him, he goes by his actual name, Aeon Kalkos, and he has like 2 axes, and he can fly and shoot fire. And I'm like, what? Whoa, this is amazing. And he was like my best character in Soul Calibur 5. So yeah, I really hope he returns. He's become one of my favorite Soul Calibur characters now, but I don't know how likely he is, because it's like, well, Lizard Man has been in basically every Soul Calibur, but I know he's not the most popular character, I think, and I just don't know if they'd have him have the Soul Calibur 5 moveset. I'd like to think they will, because I think now they're just trying to kind of trim the fat, and the only reason he didn't play like that back then was they just didn't think of it. I think they actually used assets from Kratos in the PSP Soul Calibur 4 or Soul Calibur Broken Destiny in his moveset, which they didn't have, you know, before then. So I'd like to say he would just be Aeon. I just don't know if he's coming back. That's the problem. I would say he is more likely than Soul Calibur 4 and 5 characters, though, but probably less likely than like Raphael. Okay, getting up there. Okay, number 2, Huang, or Huang. I don't know, probably not saying his name right. Now, Huang, he is kind of like, him and Li Long are kind of like the Jun Kazama and Kunimitsu of Soul Calibur. They are characters people would like back, but there have been newer characters, I use that term lately, that have kind of taken their movesets and sort of replaced them in a way, and the creators just kind of refuse to bring them back, even though they brought them back in Soul Calibur 3 Arcade Edition, made them unique. I don't understand that, and they refuse to, I don't get it. But it's like, you know, because Yun Song was Huang's replacement. I don't hate Yun Song, but I don't know, he's just no Huang in my opinion. Huang, I think, is just much cooler. I know he's, I think, even more bland, but I kind of like just playing as him a bit more. I think there's a way they could make him different, where it's like, hey, look, if we're going back to Soul Calibur 1, Yun Sung wasn't a character built too. You know, just bring back Huang, like, come on. And make him like kind of alternate costumes or premiere skins or something. I'm just so tired of him being like a Jun Kazama or Kunimitsu situation. Like, come on. Okay, so, you know, I gotta mention the honorable mentions. So, honorable mention 1, Yoshimitsu. Not honestly as crazy about his Soul Calibur appearances as I am his Tekken appearances, but Soul Calibur 5 he did look pretty cool. Even so, he's Yoshi friggin' Mitsu. Tira, Viola, and I forgot to put him on here, but I know this would never happen, but Necrid. Okay, so my number 1 pick for characters I want to come back in this game. Drumroll, please. Zasalamel. Now, Nightmare may have kind of been my original main character, but it's sort of changed over time. when Soul Calibur III came out and I saw Zasamil, I'm like, whoa. Because if you see me talk about a character with sights are one of my favorite kind of weapon. So he got a major point for that. Really cool design and personality. It helped that he was a central figure in Soul Calibur III's story. And I was just also really good with him. He's always been one of my best characters. So, you know, he's a mortal guy that travels through time, basically. And his ending in Soul Calibur IV even winds up in the future. So you'd think, oh, he would be a shoo-in for Soul Calibur V, right? Seriously, Namco? They seriously didn't bring him back for Soul Calibur V. You can imagine I was pretty pissed. Now, I actually don't terribly mind the roster for Soul Calibur V, with the exception of no Zasamil, and I guess no Hoang either, even though a much less realistic Wish back then. Apparently him and I think either Talon or Sophidia were rumored to be DLC characters for that game, but it just never went through. Soul Calibur V was during a time when DLC characters weren't a sure thing. Sometimes that happened, sometimes they didn't. But he has been, I think, one of the most requested to return, and I think there have been leaks and rumors that, you know, and there have been a lot of leaks and rumors that have been mostly true about this game. That Zasamil is set to return, along with Talon. I'm not really a big Talon fan, but I know Zasamil fans and fans of her are kind of in the same boat, so hey, you know, if we're both made happy, that'd be cool. You know, and the other problem is that there was no character that used a scythe or tonfas. That's what Talon used in Soul Calibur V. So it's like, okay, maybe if I lose the character, I can't even have his moveset. Like, seriously? With the announcement that Soul Calibur III characters will be in, I'd like to say his chances are really good, especially with all the leaks. No other character uses a scythe. The fact that he's actually, I think he's orchestrated things since the beginning of the series, so there's really no excuse he can't be around. I think, you know, yeah, I know he could be DLC, but I really think characters like him and Talon that miss the boat in Soul Calibur V, I think they need to be prioritized to be in the base roster. Like, come on, don't pull that crap. Please, Namco. And, you know, it is a little worrisome that it looks like with the character select screen, there's only going to be 20 characters. And yeah, they did say, like, oh, it's not final, but come on, I'm not naive. I know that never happens. You know, they always say that, but when we say the final roster, that's what it is. So yeah, they're who I hope return. I am looking forward to the one new character that has been teased. Especially if the rumors are true, he is going to be able to separate his blades, so he uses dual swords as opposed to just using double-bladed sword. But I've been wanting a double-bladed sword user in the series for a long time now, so I'm really glad that's happening. And just from what we see, he looks really cool. And supposedly, this is again a rumor, he's going to be Killick's rival, which kind of makes sense. And he's like an assassin or something. I'll definitely probably be using him. And I would also like to use his style to make like Darth Maul or something like that. Darth Maul is one of the only characters I can think of that is known for using a double-bladed sword. But yeah, and I think I actually will do another list for Soul Calibur VI on top 10 possible guest characters of one of the games, so stay tuned for that. But I think that's it. You know, don't forget to check out Mark Unart and his video on Soul Calibur VI on what he won. I'm going to link that at the end of this video. As I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.